So, you can now Venmo the United States to help pay off the national debt? Yeah, I could probably shove my entire savings account into trying to pay off the debt, and it would probably contribute to a whole, half a second of government spending. Trump in a few weeks. You've wanted to know for so long, and now here it is. Proof of alien life. Alien. Now do the Epstein files. I really wonder how far they're gonna go with the distractions from the Epstein files. What's next? Hollow Moon? Loch Ness Monster? Death Star? Oh, no, they just call that the Jewish space lasers. Oh, no, they just call that the Jewish space lasers. A heritage to be proud of, a homeland worth defending. American progress, John gasped. Well, okay, but who'd you take that land from, huh? I'm generally opposed to conspiracy theorizing, but it's a little weird that this pro-Manifest Destiny tweet has exactly 14 words and 2 capital H's. Andor inspired me to join up. We have friends everywhere. Okay, the rebels were literally inspired by the Vietnam Liberation Front. Bro was getting destroyed in the replies on the original post, lol. Shout out Andor fans. As corny as it is, I think Andor was an awakening for a lot of people on that edge. And that sub is surprisingly really leftist, which is so refreshing. South Park depicts Donald Trump in bed with Satan in the season 27 premiere. Oh, I can't wait for the MAGA cope fest with this. And you know it's bad when the leader of the US is getting the Saddam Hussein gag recycled for them, and people are agreeing with the depiction. I mean, if the bull gag fits. Yes, it is bad. As someone not living in the USA, Trump has made the USA a laughingstock. Nobody takes anything he says seriously. He's like a wind-up doll of lies and misinformation. I wonder when he's gonna sell dolls of himself for all the kids that can only have 1 or 2 dolls this Christmas, and maybe a couple of pencils. You know, coming from the multi-billionaire. Liberalism versus leftism in a nutshell. ICE should be forced to wear body cameras. Give me one reason why this is a bad idea. I mean, ICE should not exist. I love Matt. He used to be very lib, but progressively became more leftist as time went by. His podcast is very good, and I love the episodes with Taylor Lorenz. I was listening to the recent episode on the New York Times article about how LGBTQ people have gone too far in demanding rights. Genuinely so good. Edited for clarity, the episode is good. The podcast is called A Bit Fruity. As the gay guy reading stuff, I can approve of that name. The article he's criticizing, though, is hot garbage. Mugshot, August 24, 2023. Election interference, never surrender. Wow, they really lost the QAnon shaman before GTA 6. Mag is as strong as one of those wet blue paper towels that the school nurse would give you. Fuck this stupid piece of shit. What a fraud. I mean, you know, it only took you trying to lynch Congress and, you know, be a fucking lunatic basically all of your public life. But you got there, I guess. You want a medal? Genuinely, why did anyone believe QAnon from the get-go? Because it made them feel special, like they had privileged knowledge. Conspiracy theories make dumb people feel smart. Yeah, a lot about being in the cult is either for a feeling of self-importance, or because ringleaders of the right like to use people's insecurities or prejudices to wind them into the cult. But the thing is, there's nothing special about the cult. As much as they're trying to fight back against the machine, they are, in fact, the machine. We're phasing out Oklahoma's income tax, finally, and once we get to 0, Oklahoma will be rolling like never before. Oklahoma relies on California for critical federal tax dollars that fund education, healthcare, and apparently this new tax break. You're welcome, Governor Stern. You're telling me that a Republican state might be freeloading? What? All the propaganda told me that they were the most productive, and all the Democrat states were the freeloaders. A MAGA forgets everyone else isn't in a cult like them. See, here's a really fun fact for some of you MAGAs out there that are definitely not watching this video. Or you are, and are just writing a cope comment. You can have certain political beliefs without joining the equivalent of political Scientology. You know, you don't have to blindly defend your dear leader, you can have opinions of your own. Oh no, I really hope Bill Clinton isn't in the Epstein files. I'll have to get rid of my Bill Clinton hat and my Bill Clinton sneakers, and my Bill Clinton cologne and my Bill Clinton watch, and take down my Bill Clinton flag, and I'll have to delete my Bill Clinton NFT trading cards. What will I do with my Bill Clinton Bible? They took down the Church of Scientology. It's what they do. While most in media and entertainment are cowering in their boots, Trey Parker and Matt Stone brought the don't give a fuck energy we need to South Park. See, I did know that they were going to directly mention Trump at some point, but holy shit, doing the Saddam gag is possibly the best way they could have done it. For real though, why is everyone cowering in fear of this guy? How is it that two guys who make cartoons are braver than every other American institution? It's so pathetic. Well, in Trump's words, I'm gonna sue you. Hey chat, if you guys are enjoying the schadenfreude of MAGA eating themselves alive, you should totally press the like and subscribe button, because it helps this gay guy reading stuff a lot. Have a great day, and back to the video. Oh, finally, someone calls him out on his bullshit. It looks like it's gonna be about 3.1 billion. I'm not aware of that. Just came out. You just added in a third building. It's a building that's being built. It was built 5 years ago. See how the only people pushing back on Trump are the ones that actually serve the people, as opposed to person or companies? Crazy that. To be fair, Jerome Powell actually has balls and doesn't give a fuck about anything because his term is up in a few months anyway. US media are generally spineless and or owned by Trump-aligned oligarchs. Jerome Powell can't even really be fired, but I think more importantly, he seems to be a principled person. Oh wow, a principled person with morals doesn't bow down to Trump? What a shocker. I mean, being financially independent helps too. I'm assuming here, but he was a successful litigator before he got into the central bank. But he's never been too political or a sycophant. Page 1 in Scotland. Convicted US felon to arrive in Scotland. Republican leader who was found liable for sexual abuse and defamation will visit golf courses. Never quit Scotland. All we need is that Donald Trump baby balloon back when he comes. I don't think anything would piss him off more than that balloon flying around while he's trying to take some swings at his shitty golf course. Under no circumstances should anyone from Trump's DOJ be allowed to privately interview Ghislaine Maxwell. The conflict of interest is glaring. It stinks of high corruption. What are you gonna do? Send another fucking strongly worded letter? How about you actually do something? I mean, it happened this morning, but thanks for checking in though. Schumer and Jeffries are beyond worthless. Not up to this moment at all. That's another thing not helping the world get out of this shit pit, is the fact that the only opposition is very incompetently ran. Let's pick Schumer as our frontman. Not only is he out of touch and extremely bland, but hey, at least he's monotone. Paraphrased from Jon Stewart. Nothing will change until the people all of this benefits most stands up with us to actually fight against it. Donald Trump inscribed a book he gifted to Jeffrey Epstein with a "You are the greatest, Lamau." Oh, but trust me guys, he's not in any way involved in the Epstein list or any of the Epstein files. You know, it's not like Trump's DOJ informed him that he was literally in the list. Oh, does this suggest that Epstein's estate is starting to go, fuck this, here's all the evidence that Trump was pals with Jeff? Or is it just them sending shots across the bow about releasing Maxwell? Winner, ding ding ding. The official Democrats account on Twitter is holding nothing back. I mean, they're not wrong, but Jesus fucking Christ, actual politicians need to do more. If Trump and his team can throw rocks at the Democrats, they can't be crying when the glass house shatters and the rocks get thrown right back at them. Aww, but they cry about it every time. Lol. Wait, but all the very obvious propaganda they make tries to paint them as intellectuals who don't care about your feelings. They've been snowflakes since 2008, lol. Even before that, the right cried when the Dixie Chicks called out Bush's invasion of Iraq. Were the weapons of mass destruction in the room with us? This is an executive order that lays out the groundwork for sending homeless people and people with mental illnesses to concentration camps to be civilly committed. It was never going to stop with immigrants. This is horrifying and beyond words. This is the whole thing with politics, guys. If you're fine with the others getting persecuted, don't be surprised at some point you might. And come on, you guys can't tell me that using mental illness is not purposely making it vague to basically be able to civilly commit anyone that disagrees with them. For all the right-wing conspiracy nuts that used to talk endlessly about the feds building FEMA camps, it turns out that you were right. You just got it wrong on which party would build them. Don't forget that if you're institutionalized, that you will probably not get to vote. It was always projection. Well, can't wait until children with large inheritances get thrown in for whatever excuse by people trying to get their money. People being thrown in for being hysterical, and for LGBTQ being categorized as a mental illness. They're already throwing talk of persons of color being slaves again. So, I guess we're all being thrown way back into the 1700s. This is how full-on Nazism starts, arresting non-violent citizens whose circumstances displease the fascist aesthetic of the dear leader and permanently caging them. No cause or process, so the streets are clear for the leader's motorcade as he's driven past. In 2020, the government pointed to Maxwell's willingness to brazenly lie under oath about her conduct as a reason to deny her bail. Now, with her entire life in the government's control, it turns to her as a source of truth. Or, if not, a story that could help the president get out of this jam. Well, yeah, is it really surprising to see that the compulsive liar that's able to lie under oath to cover the compulsive liar's ass, probably to either get a reduction in sentence or a straight up pardon. Trump is trying so hard to get everyone to talk about anything except Epstein. Grab him by the Epstein files. Breaking news, we've just subpoenaed the Epstein files. As a survivor of sexual assault, I know the pain and trauma survivors carry. This subpoena is a massive victory for every survivor who has ever been silenced, dismissed, or harmed. Bondi must release the files immediately. We demand accountability. Despite what all of these MAGA cultists want you to think, fun fact, wanting the Epstein files released is for justice. You know, those courts that exist to hold people accountable? I know you Republicans are fucking allergic to that shit. But hey, unlike you MAGA lemmings, we're actually for justice for the countless victims. Oh, don't worry, just check his bathroom with the golden toilet at Mar-a-Lago. I'm gonna need a shovel to check his ex-wife's overgrown gravesite. Yeah, right next to all the classified secrets. But which golden toilet though? There's dozens of the fucking things. Miss Rachel says that she won't work with anyone who has not spoken out about Gaza. Based. To anyone asking to work with me who hasn't spoken out about Gaza, thank you for the request, but I'm not comfortable working with anyone who hasn't spoken out about Gaza. Much love and God bless, Rachel. For Republicans all claiming to be pro-kids and that sort of shit, they really do have a disregard for any children that don't fit into their fascist utopia. Why did she say this? Lol. Breaking news. DOJ and FBI have concluded that there is no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein blackmailed powerful figures, kept a client list, or was murdered, per memo. Oh, so Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison for trafficking underage girls to no one. People are not really familiar with the basic facts of the Epstein case. All the victims who testified at Maxwell's trial said they were trafficked to Epstein himself, who abused them with Maxwell's assistance. That is an insanely misconstrued take of the Epstein case, but go on, Queen? And I mean, like, you do know Epstein himself was also convicted of trafficking, right? You can't really traffic people to yourself. That's just called kidnapping. One trans gal to another, Natalie. I need you to keep your stupid mouth shut about this. If you've got anything other than a full-throated condemnation of the government refusing to release the files, you are way too well known to be giving nuanced takes about a fucking paedophile ring. And here's another thing about everyone trying to downplay the Epstein files. If it's something to be downplayed, why not release it? There's a reason they ain't releasing it, and it's not because it's too passive.